What's up, street hockey goalies? Dave Wagner, Wagner Baseball Glove Repair, and other equipments. So, now Michael Andrusek wants to gather input from people based on their experience with his new ReasonY Trapper. I made videos rebuilding it twice, 2.5 years ago. But now let's see what everybody else figures out. It's probably going to be a lot of the same things. But I have one here just to run through the basic shortcomings. There are some strengths. There are some shortcomings. The strengths. It has one huge strength. It's around 740 grams. That's great. It really is. That's an excellent number. The Passau is around 930. Okay. My rebuilt REK is 840, so it's between Passau and ReasonY. But if you want the lightest possible thing you can put on your hand, ReasonY has that thing. They're the least weight. Okay? No matter what anybody says, this bad boy is the lightest thing on the market that's new for ball hockey goaltending. Okay? What are things that it's really good at? Well, it has a simple closure. Look at that. That's a simple closure and a nice seal. There's no denying this. Okay? What else does it have? This could be a good or bad, but we're going to say this does this very well. A lot of pocket depth. So if you're having trouble with a ball coming into your web and going back out again, and truth be told, this seems a lot more rare than people seem to believe. I don't know of many balls that strike the back of the web of most trappers that come out again. But if that's a real concern for you, look at that. You could catch a cantaloupe with this thing, okay? And it would still close. So pocket depth, good. Weight, good. Okay, those are strengths, real strengths. Weaknesses, or boy, this could be a little bit better. This was one of the things that people were sure were going to be a huge weakness when it came out, and it's not a big deal. And I told you that it wasn't going to be a big deal when I did my first teardown. The fact that this is not made of a soft material doesn't necessarily mean the ball's going to be slipping out. That was a major concern for most people, and I told you that wasn't going to be a big deal. And it really isn't a big deal. So if people still complain about it, who own the glove, I'd like to talk to them personally. Because if you put some Velcro strips on here, that'll stop. But I really just can't see people having that problem. Let's take a look at, this is durability. Now this is one of my buddies. This isn't my personal one. It doesn't matter. I had one. And he is notoriously rough on his equipment. So, you know, there aren't many trappers where I would expect to see this type of damage where it's actually bent. This is a nice piece of high density, polyethylene. It's that's a 1/16 of an inch. It's fine. It's sufficient. Okay? These pieces don't break easily. These aren't broken, right? So that's good, right? So there's some durability here. Look at the seams. These haven't ruptured. None of these have torn out. So the lace that's used, the paracord that's used, it's stable and fine. None of the rivets have popped. Well, they're kind of like, you got to check them once in a while. They're bolt rivets, but they're there. Sorry, they're in place, no problem. There is some wear here because he plays a lot on waffle court, and he never wanted me to actually put protectors on there, which I could have. And so you're getting a lot of wear here. You can tell, this is one of my buddies, and I'm not going to say his name. You can tell this guy, I don't know how he's wearing this off, because you know what? Never hits that, a ball. They're not stopping balls at the back of your glove, whatever. It could be he's smushing it against the side, I don't know. Anyway, so that's holding up, okay? Back section, how is it holding up? This is probably, this guy's nuts. This is probably 200 to 300 games. So this is not like 10 games, okay? A little wear here. protective basket section in one piece. All the rivets, they're all there. If you unbuckle this piece, everything is intact. So I know there's replaceable liners. This has been used to death. This is the first liner. No holes. No holes in that liner, okay? Trying to hold it close to you so you can see. Velcro is still pretty good. Some people Velcro and unvelcro every time they put the glove on. I don't know why. This guy does. So the Velcro is a little bit worn down here. So durability pretty good. This movable wedge piece, that's in good shape. We do have, it's a little loose here underneath. And I think so the glue failed that was holding this piece down, but it didn't catastrophically fail. The whole thing didn't peel off. But the glue did fail. So that could be hot glued, I guess. Or Velcro could be placed underneath it. Now, some of the weak points of this design have not gotten better because it still struggles with finger fit. So you have 1, 2, 3 finger sleeves. They are elastic. Now, I suggested in my first teardown rebuilds that these be not elastic, but static, a nice Velcro liner, so they don't stretch. And the reason is so they don't, when your hand moves naturally inside of a trapper and every other trapper that's really built, these dividers aren't elastic. They're bottom to top sewed in gussets, okay? That would maybe, I don't like elastic because what happens is this stuff. Your hand really shouldn't be twisting this way and that way inside of your trapper. But I brought this up in my old video. This is all old news. What is okay. Over here we have a thumb loop. Hey, Passau, wake up. That's a thumb loop. Now, unfortunately, it's elastic. I love static thumb loops or adjustable thumb loops. This should be redesigned. It's elastic. It's doubled up elastic, but it is elastic, which means this finger and thumb moves too much. So, what I do for a living is I fix baseball gloves, and thumb loops, pinky loops, how they fit is a big deal with how baseball gloves fit for guys in the MLB and the guys that I work for, okay? So this whole thumb loop, pinky loop, having your hand stationary is a big deal. If your thumb slides inside the glove, that means that impulses from your hand are not actually getting to the actual trapper. Okay, so you don't want slide or play inside. Elastic dividers and elastic loops equals more play. This should be revised. That was a problem going in. That was a problem I talked about years ago. It is still the exact same stinking problem. Now, the thing that can be absolutely, and to me what drove me crazy about this, there is no hand sizing chart that I am aware of for this particular trapper. And I think in my first videos I mentioned this problem, and in the intervening time I think that hand size might play a part, but I'm going to explain how. This holds my ice hockey, whatever, my steel for my goalie skates. This is one of the most rigid packages in history. It does not like to close. You have to like slam it shut. It wants to stay open, but I'm going to try and show you the problem that's going on in here with this, and it should work. Basically, if you look at the glove on that angle, you've got both sides that are going to close, right? And there's your hinge point. When this happens, okay, more or less what you are doing inside is this. Closing a basic V. You're shutting a V type situation, right? Now, what happens in this particular model, and it is a big problem for people who are used to having nice fitting ice gear, goalie stuff, or baseball gloves, is because the two pieces, as there goes the blades, the two pieces of plastic, which are in this container, and are in here, plastic, there is not much curve here, okay? And there does not appear to be any curve here. This is a flat piece, mild curve. Because of that, here is what will happen to you every time you close it, and this is going to show you. As it closes, your hand will slide out. Close, slide. Close, slide. I'm trying to make this extremely graphic so you can see it, right? Your hands may be here when you have the trapper open, but the minute you close it, your hands are going to slide down. It happens every time. The elastic finger dividers don't do anything. The thumb loops and that's elastic doesn't do anything to stop this major problem. Okay, again, so I close, boom, my hand slides out of the trapper. When you close this thing, unless your fingers, and I can do hand measurements with you, I'll do hand measurements for everybody who wants them to get an idea of what my hand is versus what yours is via text. There must be some correlation between the length of the fingers and how much that slide out effect is affecting things. There's got to be. I can't prove it. I assume that this is the case because this is a problem I run into sometimes with baseball gloves. But baseball gloves do not have that hard V plastic fly trap thing. They don't have it. So if your hand is average to below average or smaller, mine's a smaller adult hand, you may experience that very frustrating feeling that you, as you're closing this thing, it starts to come away. The actual hinge point that you want right by your hand starts to slide away from you. And again, here's the hinge. This is what you want. Hinge against your thumb. Your thumb joint, right? You want it like this, and then as you close, what happens is, see that room there now? See? I can see the camera. That room there is lost. That's a form of like sloshiness or play, but it's not the play that you would experience necessarily by having a loose loop. It's play because of a poor design. That one thing is a major reason why a lot of people may steer clear of this, and why I advise them to steer clear of it because of that. You are not going to be able to have that nice firm as you close the glove. Everything stays still inside. It will not happen. Your hands are going to move a little bit right to left because of those elastic pieces, and your hand's going to slide out. It will happen. I don't care how tight you tighten this. Your wrist won't move, but your hand's going to slide out a little bit. It happens all the time. I cannot stand it. If you, and this is what I've told people, if you cannot catch anything, you haven't played baseball or you sucked at it, or you can't catch a puck with a blocker, then this is going to be better than what you're not able to use now, okay? It will be better than that. It's kind of like a, trapper for dummies. Well, I can't close anything, Dave. Well, that almost closes itself. So for that player who's low end, low rent, can't figure this out, this is a good reason to buy this. Of course, if you're low rent, etc., you're not going to want to spend $400 on this. But that's what it costs. For $400, are you getting you getting something that's a game breaker? Yes. If you're terrible, this could help. And some people are going to say, that really is a terrible thing to say. I've coached this for too long. I've watched it for too long. I've watched high-end games, international play for too long. This type of thing is for a younger beginner type of player who just isn't very good at closing and catching anything. This, a massive amount of space, is to compensate for a minimum amount of hand-eye coordination or vision. Okay, that's all it is. So that's a reason to buy it, or a reason to avoid it. If you can catch stuff, this is probably not your first choice. Another problem, and this is a real problem. This, because these pieces are connected to the tip of the tee, they are connected with just fabric. You notice how these are very flexible, okay? In a lot of trappers, ice hockey trappers, there's going to be a piece of plastic sewn in. If there's two rails, it's going to be a thin piece sewn in, or a double piece of leather sewn in here to give the pocket rigidity. And it's not really to give it rigidity against the ball ripping through, because it won't rip through. It's to prevent this problem right here. Hey, I'm going to catch it. No, you're not. You see this? This, it's caused because there's no plastic reinforcement from here to here. Watch again. Ball hits me here. Collapse city. That's in your net. Ball hits me here. Same thing. It bends. See, when you bet on easy flex, easy bend, for the good reasons, you also get easy flex, easy bend for the bad reasons. So there's a lot of puck over or ball over effect. If you, so this is to prevent skip over, right? Like this, right? Skip over, but you're getting ball over or puck over because this is so flimsy. That is flimsy. The only way you're going to get that to be stiffer is to do what? You've got to add a stiffening, either 1 or 2 pieces of plastic from here to here. And then what is the biggest strength of this? It's weight. The minute you add these things that enhance play and fit, here goes the weight, right? There goes your competitive advantage. So as far as I can tell, this design is very ho-hum, but I knew it was ho-hum when it came out, when I did my first 2 sets of videos. Remember where I rebuilt with the back of a Reeboks? It was much better protection because this isn't that great, and you can stick a ball, you can get a stick right through here. Remember that? That didn't change. So my buddy has a brand new of the same thing, and it's just as good or bad as this one is. And is he a very good goaltender who can catch? Nope. Why does he use this? It's so much easier to catch the ball. What I really want to say is it's because you're terrible and you can't catch. But instead I say, yeah, it really seems like you can catch better with that because you don't want to be a jerk. But he doesn't know who I am. I can be a jerk. If you can't play goalie very well, try it. If you're used to ice hockey stuff that fits pretty well, that keeps your hands still and gives you adjust points here, 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 in between the fingers, and then even over the top of the fingers, this is like much lighter duty. But at least here, unlike Passau, who decided to take an ice hockey trapper, remove all of the adjustability inside and then hand it to you with a couple of pieces of plastic to say, look, we did it. This was at least an actual outside the box design. So Michael gets credit for trying to do something new as opposed to trying to basically take ice hockey gear and dumb it down. Novel. Is it the best thing ever? No, I don't think it is. If I thought it was, I would tell you. This is $400 US dollars. A lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, next thing. This is, I'm going to do another video. It's going to be the new blocker against the old blocker. But this is just why you wouldn't buy the old one, which you probably already didn't. This is the blocker, as is right now. I didn't do anything to it. What are you going to notice right away? See this? Why isn't it like that? Because the design does not integrate this plastic piece with this one. So you get this. It just hinges. So now on the new one, what's he going to do? He's going to make it all monocoque, like one big piece. And that's going to cause problems down here because now this part won't bend. So it's a mistake followed by an overreaction. But I'll do a video of these two, one against the other. But all things considered, $400-ish US dollar item here. How well did it hold up? Not that good. That's a clear break. I don't know how it broke. In fact, it doesn't even bend, but it snapped. So I don't know how that happened. But it happened. I'm just showing you it could happen. This rather minimal protection. Let's be honest. Where's the protection for the tips of your fingers? There isn't any. Does this come down and protect you? No. This is nice. That's fine. Thumb, flexible thumb, that protects your thumb. That's good. The original seam failed, so of course it was a workaround with some lace. Outside here, this is okay. It's not really great. You can still get hit above it. But, head to head from the new one and the old one, we'll take a look at that. But here's one thing I will point out. Lightweight. Really? Really, let me get my sheet out here. My sheet. This weighs 825 grams. Not bad, right? Wrong. This is what I used to play ball hockey with. An NHL Pro Return Reebok Revoke PZ. Okay? Whitmer's Autograph is right under there. You can't see it. It's got Velcro over it. So what did I do to make this street ball legit? Single piece of female loop fuzzy Velcro here, and I think one on the fingertips of a couple of these. Not a real big thing. Nothing here. Aftermarket, I added some foam to increase the weight, but because this is for ball hockey, I did pull out the thin plastic. It's about a 32nd of an inch, maybe a 64th of an inch of high density polyethylene. I slid that out. There are zippers or laces, you can slide it out. Take a look at the protection. This is NHL Pro Return, NHL protection, right? So bigger piece, fingertips. This comes down over the fingertips, long piece here, plus the under piece right there where your stick sits in there, right? Plus a big thumb. Plus this piece doesn't flop everywhere because it's integrated with the closure system of the wrist. Huge problem. You see that? There's no way to force this piece to come back in when you tighten it. It doesn't come with you. This was an oversight. This was a bad design. Okay, there's nothing in there that forces this over. With this, because you can't have this happen in the NHL, you'll get your thumb cut off. No, right? So better protection, right? Looks good, I guess. Better protection. Is it thicker? Yeah. So if you want a wafer thin blocker, so you can, stab somebody in the neck with it, then buy the ReasonY. For goodness sake, why not, right? But here's the killer. I'll bring it up again. What did I tell you this weighed? I just weighed these with my food scale, okay? 10 minutes ago. 825 grams, right? 785. Oh, better protection, better protection, better movement, better everything, and it's lighter. So what's the strength of that? There isn't one. You can buy, and you don't need a pro return, you can buy Lefebvre, CCM, Reebok, Vaughn blockers at your local Play It Again, used V3 to V10. And you can get them, I swear to you, can get those for under $50. You really can. You're in a bad spot, $80. This was $4 worth of Velcro, if that, right? And I took out the piece of plastic inside. And I don't know what 825 minus 785 is because I'm terrible at math. I'm going to say that's 40 grams. This wins. It's 40 grams lighter. It doesn't have a flippy floppy. This is static, so if you turn your hand, the glove, it doesn't bend or move. This is 1,000 times better and is a lot cheaper. So if you're going to go with our stuff's the lightest, it had better be the lightest. And if you're going to go with our stuff is really easy to use, clarify who it's easy to use for. But you're not, Mike, you're not going to do that because then you're going to basically be saying we sell stuff for noobs, which is kind of what you're doing. I'll have another video when I get the new blocker because I'm going to do a side-by-side. New blocker, old blocker, shows some of the ideas. You saw the weaknesses of the older style, right? And then some of the fixes and why those fixes probably aren't that good either. And then we're going to get some weights and let's see if that new one is less than 785 grams. I don't think it will be. But Mike wanted a bunch of opinions. I've already done videos. This is a follow-up video just showing that these problems still exist. And if people don't know how to explain them or never experienced them, it doesn't mean that I didn't spot these problems and I'm not trying to tell you. Here's how much money I made by making this video. Zero. It's just because I don't like people buying things for the hype. I think RY is some substance and a lot of hype.